why is the Middle East so poor? I think the reason often people give is, oh, it's because of colonialism. But if that was true, Singapore wouldn't be successful because it was once colonized as well. I think it has to do with really quite deep cultural characteristics that Islam imparts to populations, which inhibit innovation and creativity. The Islamic view of education tends to emphasize obedience and not questioning. I mean, many Muslims I've spoken to said when they were growing up, when they went to school, it was not good to ask too many questions. It was frowned upon, and you were rebuked if you were asked the wrong questions. So I think there are some cultural characteristics that make it difficult. I think the victimhood mentality makes it difficult. If you feel you're perpetually a victim of somebody else, it disempowers you. You don't take responsibility for your own life. It's complex. I think there's many reasons, but the Middle East is full of conspiracy theories and destabilizing movements towards more radical Islam. So, yeah, that's a tragedy. But at some point, when will people in the Middle East say we need to find a better way? We need to take responsibility for our lives.
There's also a theological angle to this as well, in that, and again, we're talking the conservative end of Islam when I say this, but their epistemology, their view of knowledge is the only really important knowledge is the knowledge that helps you to be a good Muslim. And so the Quran and the Hadith tell you the things that you need to put all your focus into. And so there are other things like maybe scientific research, or particularly speculative scientific research, and particularly philosophy and political philosophies that are not Sharia law. Like, you just ignore all those things because they're of relative unimportance. And so if the most important thing is just to be a good Muslim, then that works against being creative. It works against developing new things. It works against, Mark was talking about the economic development, but there's so few Nobel Prize winners. There's so few strong universities. There's so many gaps in the Islamic world, and because that fundamental theology works against that.